Hi, you all. This is another episode of the Raising Independent Thinkers show on Hindsight Radio. Of course, I'm your host, Beth Sheba, and I hope everyone is doing well and feeling healthy and blessed. I hope this holiday season has been good for you. Many of you are all done with celebrating Christmas and Hanukkah and Kwanzaa. Actually, I believe Kwanzaa is still being celebrated until the 1st of January. So, I've always wanted to delve more into the other holidays that you don't normally hear about or learn about in school. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about the winter solstice and how it's celebrated in different parts of the world. And I also wanted to talk about holiday traditions and customs that we could make unique to our own families. So, I'm just going to get right into it. Um, every single year I always tell myself this year we're going to follow certain traditions, and sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't. One of the traditions that I have been consistent about is traveling during the holidays. I would say at least once or twice a year, my family goes somewhere. I've always enjoyed traveling, just that anticipation of getting ready and packing and planning. All that's exciting for me and my kids as well. And of course, due to COVID, many people changed their plans and decided to stay home. We were fortunate enough to take a road trip to Orlando, Florida this year. And we got some sun. We had a really good time walking through the parks at Universal. We had some good food. We exchanged gifts. The last day before we left was really cold. I think we hit a cold front from a storm. But other than that, we really enjoyed ourselves. And, you know, this year has been a little different for many people, even for myself. But even though the holiday this year did feel a little strange, mainly because of seeing people in masks, I still was able to find my inner peace amongst all that's going on in the world, and I hope you have all done the same. So this year, another tradition that we're doing is our prosperity ritual coming up on the 31st of this month. And this is a tradition that Akeem started about 5 years ago. So on December the 31st, around 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be doing this spiritual ritual together. And I'm very excited. I actually did join him a few years ago when he did it in Atlanta. But this year, we will be at home and doing it through Zoom. So we would love for as many people to join us. You can subscribe to my website, which is on the screen. It's homeschoolguide.com, so that you can get the link and join us. Last year, I believe Akeem said there were about 50 people that joined. So we're looking for even more this year. We're going to be writing out our goals and what we want to happen in all areas of our life, relationship wise, spirituality, health, and of course, prosperity. So please join us. Okay. So I wanted to talk about winter solstice, which begins on December the 21st. And this was a holiday celebrated long before Christmas came about. It originated in ancient Rome, and the winter solstice is the shortest day and longest night of the year. People around the world have held feasts, decorated their homes in greenery, lighting candles, giving and receiving presents. Doesn't that sound familiar? And people actually celebrated this, they actually celebrate winter solstice even today. So, the difference between winter solstice and Christmas is that winter solstice marks the symbolic death and rebirth of the actual sun, the sun that we see in the sky, which we know that the sun gives us life, and without it, we cannot survive. So people celebrate this holiday on or near December the 21st, which is also the first day of winter. Some people also like to have their children make crafts on that day. So when I was teaching in the classroom, I would make sun catchers with the kids. We would make centerpieces for the table, decorative wreaths, lanterns can be fun as well for the kids. So Christmas again was a holiday created after the winter solstice. During the time we had Roman emperors, and Christmas celebrates the birth of Jesus Christ. Many Christians believe that Jesus died for us and then came back to life. So the winter solstice is the day that the sun starts to come back, the days get longer, and most of the traditions that we have that relate to Christmas actually relate to the solstice. So, for example, the Christmas tree, which was originally for celebrating the return of life. And in many countries, they believe that winter and the solstice was very important. So many years ago, they would decorate the evergreen tree to brighten their spirits during the winter. Um, the evergreen tree symbolized immortality and eternal life because they retained their leaves throughout the winter. So when Christianity came into existence, they used the idea of the tree as a symbol of the tree of paradise. So all of these things really celebrate the idea that light and life are coming back into the world. Christians then started hanging apples on the tree prior to using ornaments, which was something I actually did not know. So the winter solstice is still actually celebrated, like I mentioned before, around the world. In Ireland, people participate in an annual lottery. So they can gather outside the tomb and bang drums to greet the sun, which I find that very interesting. In China, winter solstice is known as Dongzhi, meaning the winter's arrival. People often make food such as rice flour balls and dumplings. The day also marks the rising of the yang, which is the masculine and positive energy, making it an ideal time to adjust one's diet to store yang energy, which is believed to help fight against illness. And I find that one very interesting. It's interesting how opposite the yin and yang are. As you see, for the yin, you have the moon, and for the yang, you have the sun. And I also find it interesting, mainly because I've always thought the winter was a great time to focus on health. Usually by this time of year, I was given my daily dose of cod liver oil when I was a kid to fight against any sickness. I've recently learned about the importance of oregano oil, which Akeem has talked about in the past. And all you need is a drop of it under your tongue or add it into your drink. And a pharmacist actually told me she adds it in her pasta sauce, and that way her kids could never tell. But it is a natural antibiotic and supports your health during the winter months when many people do get sick. So I think making healthy habits during the season is a great idea for not only yourself, but your whole family. So I've learned a lot about this tradition, and doing the research has shown me that a lot of our holidays actually evolved from ancient pagan traditions, which paganism is a term that was used after the Middle Ages to any unfamiliar religion, and the term presumed a belief in false gods. Now, I find it fascinating that many of us were never taught this in school, but we were taught about Santa Claus and Old St. Nicholas. And after many years of teaching, I feel that it's my duty to be as honest with my children as possible. And this is one of the reasons why I feel so passionate about encouraging families to raise independent thinking children. We want our children to learn the truth. I also think it's fine if people choose to follow popular customs and traditions, because I also do follow some customs, but we should also be able to respect one another's beliefs, and at least do your research and think about ways to teach your child about where these traditions come from. And remember that these traditions that you choose to follow are usually passed from generation to generation. So I know for me, in my spiritual journey, I am learning to be honest, especially with myself. And it's so easy to believe in something that is not real, especially when it sounds exciting and fun. But it's also important for me to understand the truth so that I can teach my children properly. So holiday traditions and customs can, also be fun. I think it's all about what you make of it and how you can make them unique to your own family if you choose to celebrate them. And like I said before, as a family, we enjoy traveling. When I was younger, we would go see Christmas shows on Broadway. We would watch holiday movies together. We would play board games. And I know someone told me the other day that their new tradition is buying a jigsaw puzzle each year and working on it together as a family, which I love that idea. Um, Me and my kids used to do puzzles, from time to time, and I might start doing that again. That's a good one. I also always love decorating my home for not so much the holiday per se, but more for the season. So that's something that I enjoy doing. Now, of course, some of us don't have pleasant memories of the holidays, and we can't wait until it's over. I do feel a little bit of that some years. I think it's mostly because we have gone further away from the truth in some of these holidays, and we're losing what the season is supposed to be about. And for me, it should be about family. It's about giving, and that doesn't necessarily mean gifts, but giving of yourself and spending time with the people you love. And I understand that it could also be a sad time for someone who may have lost a loved one or someone close to them. So, for those of you who may be feeling down during this season, I will keep you all in my thoughts and just know that you are loved. One tradition I think that's interesting in celebrating Kwanzaa is that in one of the principles, they celebrate their ancestors and celebrate the people who they have lost. And I think that's such a wonderful thing to do. I think one of the activities that I found was families decorating a special ornament or singing a special song for their loved one that passed or their ancestors. Um, so I will end on that note. And again, please join us for our prosperity ritual on August the 31st. You will get the link by subscribing to homeschoolguide.com. I also provide consultations to families who are thinking about homeschooling, who are trying to figure out what curriculum is best for their child. And I also have a homeschool webinar that you can purchase as well. I am also working on some really exciting things for the upcoming school year, so please stay tuned. Videos will be posted every Monday on YouTube, and you can also listen to the show, Raising Independent Thinkers, on Blog Talk Radio every Sunday evening at 7 p.m., or you can call in. And the number is on the screen, and I'll also put it down below. Please follow me on Facebook and Instagram. And I would love, love, love to hear about your unique family traditions, to get some good ideas. So, okay, everyone, stay blessed and have a wonderful week. Peace.